Hey everyone, Todd here with Citizen Defense. Welcome back to the channel. So this week I wanted to touch on a topic of discussion, and specifically I think that this is a discussion. It is not a debate amongst concealed carriers and people in the firearms space. But that's going to be reloads, right? Should I carry a spare magazine? Should I not? It's something, like I said, it's not a debate. It's just a topic of discussion and opinions and ideas and thought process amongst people of what may be the best circumstance that you might need one of these. I think when it comes to reloads, we need to be open and honest about the realities of needing a reload. Okay, um, if you go and look at it statistically, typically the self-defense encounter that most people are going to have in their lives are not going to require a reload, let alone require a gun. Okay, this is something that's been talked about with active self-protection, other high-level instructors, that you're statistically not going to ever need a reload in a civilian self-defense encounter. Now, does that mean that you could not ever need one? No, not at all. Out of all the video analysis that John Correia have done over at Active Self Protection, they have only come across one video where a gentleman used a reload, and that was pretty recently in another country. Now, does that justify it for everybody? Yep, you got to carry a reload. Well, not really. I think when it comes to deciding for ourselves if we need to carry a reload, specifically people who are getting started in concealed carry, trying to wade through all of this information of sidecar holsters and all this stuff, well, do I need to carry a reload? Do I not? I think the best way to determine if you should carry a spare magazine or a reload was put by Alex Sanson of the Suited Shootist, and that was, does your lifestyle allow you to accommodate it? And that's pretty straightforward. Like there's no wild scenarios that we're coming up with in our heads that we would never encounter as regular day Earth people that would say, yep, if that one thing ever happened, I'd absolutely need a reload, so I need to carry one. It's just being realistic with ourselves. Can I accommodate this in my lifestyle? Because, for example, I can accommodate this in my lifestyle, right? This is a compact size gun with a TLR 7A on it. That's about the most that I can carry. I can accommodate a compact light, and I can accommodate a spare magazine. I cannot do like some guys carry a 34 with a Surefire X300 on there. That is just insane to me that they can deal with that slide length in their pants. I can't accommodate that in my lifestyle. Now, if you're somebody that you're a white collar worker and you're dressed in more formal wear, more often fitted clothing, you're not necessarily going to be able to carry something like this on a regular basis, are you? You're going to have something probably more like a P365 or even a pocket carry option. And if you start thinking about it from there, you may not be able to accommodate a reload with that either. So you really have to think about your lifestyle and how these tools apply to your lifestyle to determine if you can accommodate them or not. Now, when you start looking at things like revolvers and things like that, you can carry like strip clips and stuff. That's totally going to be up to you. For me, I do have a pocket carry revolver option, and whenever I carry that, it's usually when we go to nice dinners, things like that, stuff that I can't fit this and conceal it effectively, is when I'm going to go to my revolver option. That's pocket carry, and that there is definitely going to be, that is not a go-to trouble gun. That is a get out of trouble gun. My max distance for engagement with that is probably about 10 yards. I don't shoot a revolver that often. It's a very small snub nose, and outside of, in the context of full accountability, I'm not going to engage anything further than 10 yards. So that is definitely a get out of trouble gun, and I understand where my boundaries are with that handgun, and so I plan my uses for it accordingly. Like I said, it's a get out of trouble gun, not a go to trouble gun. So we just need to plan our lives around the tools that we have. Now, when it comes to specifically carrying a spare magazine, we can very much get caught up in the weeds of how we should carry a spare magazine. For a long time, if I carried a spare magazine before, if I felt like I needed one, I would put it in my back pocket. It's not fancy or anything like that. It's there if I need it. I have recently gone to a Tenacore pouch. Now this is a separate pouch, and I like this setup versus having something like a sidecar magazine setup, and I'll explain to you why, and also why I think this is a better option for versatility. If you're running appendix, um, and you have a sidecar holster and you need to dress certain ways, and that sidecar, that extra addition to that magazine may not accommodate that clothing, that could be a problem for you. So having something that is a separate mag pouch gives you several options. Like, the world is my oyster with this thing, right? So if I want to set this up like a sidecar, like I currently do, I can ride this center line, ride this just off to the side like that. This actually sits a little low on my belt line, so it's nice and concealed. It's not super high up, creating more printing issues. Okay, so I can conceal this whole setup very, very well. Now, what else can I do with this? If I don't want to run this appendix that day, right? I can switch this and put it on my strong side and carry it that way. Or if I'm doing an activity or wearing certain clothing that does not accommodate this at all, I can completely remove it. Whereas if I had something like a sidecar holster, I'm pretty much stuck with that. Okay, I know some options have the hinge one. You can probably separate that. I just don't know how much of a hassle that is. Okay, so this is just something I can pick it up if I need it, put it on if I need it. If I don't, I just leave it in the safe. So with that, that's pretty much it. Okay, when it comes down to reloads, you just need to figure out if it's worth you being able to implement it into your lifestyle. I want y'all to get down in the comments and let me know what you think. Do you carry a reload? Do you not? Do you think it's life-threatening if you don't carry a reload, or are you carrying a reload for unrealistic scenarios? Get down in the comments and let me know what y'all think. Let's talk about it. Outside of that, I hope everyone has a wonderful week and y'all stay safe.